It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Citi Prime News. My name is Zoe Abubeduado, and I'm here with
Charles Ozukumi.
The news is live from our studio at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. Coming up, Bole Bamboy MP appeals to Ministry of Roads and Highways to swiftly reconstruct the Bole Solar section of the road as several travellers remain stranded following the collapse of a bridge.
But I have appealed to the minister that as much as possible, we should be able to do something for our people to be able to cross the road.
Also coming up, Sanitation and Water Resources Ministry pays 10 months of allowances owed trainees of the School of Hygiene. Still ahead, some users of Ghana's only commercial train want the railway network modernized and expanded to make commuting stress-free.
These things only happen when it's an organized crime, when people are careless, clueless, and reckless about public expenditure because they don't care. So I think the minimum...
We apologize for that particular insert. And later,
if maybe I'm singing dance, I watch videos of her performing dance, like different videos, and I also search for other people's performances of the same song, how people did it, and then I always have personal all-night rehearsals during the week. Let's go.
We'll catch up with the winner of Season 5 of Citi TV's Voice Factory, CLOB. Stay tuned as we bring you highlights of the grand finale of the show which happened over the weekend. This news is also live on all our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're on Adwempa 100.7 FM in Takwa, Beach 105.5 FM in Takwa, the Bono region, Greener FM 95.9 in Sunyani, Ashanti region, Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi, and Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajovu, VOV Radio 95.7 in Hohoi, Northern region, Radio Bimbela 91.9 FM in the Upper East, Quality 88.7 FM in Garu, Upper West, Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa, and Drapa 96.1 FM.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for your time. Now, the Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy has appealed to the Minister of Roads and Highways to swiftly work on the reconstruction of the Bole Solar section of the road. A bridge linking Bole and Doli was completely cut off, with link roads washed away in a recent downpour in the Savannah region. The development has left several travellers stranded. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, Yusuf Suleimana entreated the ministry to earnestly fix the affected portion to ease the plight of road users.
The chief director he reached out to me and made a promise that they were going to treat that disaster as an emergency and that he was dispatching his people there to assess the situation and then they can advise the public. I believe it was as a result of that they decided that, look, this is not going to be resolved within a day or two. And so they gave out that notice that motorists from the Upper West should use Solar Fufuluso Road, get to Kentampo, Techimai, before they can access places like Kumasi and Accra. Those of us are also going to work from Kumasi, Accra. We also have to use Kentampo to Fulfuluso, Damango, join Solar, and then we can also reach Upper West. Now, those of us in Bole will have to use the Bamboy New Longoro Road and get to Kentampo, then we can access Tamale. And those who want to go to Kumasi and other places, that one, there's no problem. So in the absence of any other alternative, we'll have to take it like that. But I have appealed to the minister that as much as possible, we should be able to do something for our people to be able to cross the road. For instance, there are a lot of people in my constituency who wants to come and register. Because of this disaster, they are unable to cross. And we have just a few more days for us to end the exercise. So if we are not able to give them an alternative, I cannot foresee somebody traveling through Solar to Fulfulso, and then to Bamboy, and coming to Bole to register, and going back through that road.
Yusuf Sulemana is MP for Bole Bamboy in the Savannah region.
Now, the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources has resolved a long-standing issue by disbursing 10 months of overdue allowances to School of Hygiene trainees nationwide. After extensive discussions and negotiations, the students have now received a portion of the 24-month allowance owed them. A press release from the Coalition of Hygiene Students confirmed that this payment covers all eligible trainees from the 2021-2022 academic year. However, they continue to advocate for the remainder of the outstanding allowances. Emmanuel Awuku, the secretary of the Coalition of Health Trainees, spoke to Citi News.
The Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources has finally settled 10 months out of the whole allowance arrears owed School of Hygiene trainees across country. So with this, we humbly appreciate the efforts of the Ministry of Sanitation and the government at large. We still have arrears left. We also haven't forgotten that some students, especially the certificate students of the whole School of Hygiene who completed in 2021, still have 10 months arrears with the ministry. With this partial victory, I would urge all School of Hygiene trainees to come together and let's support this united front. With a united front, affirmative action is going to be easy because my brother's voice shall be my voice and my voice shall be my brother's voice.
Emmanuel Awuku is the secretary of the Coalition of Health Trainees.
The National Disaster Management Organization NADMO office in the Adan East District has issued a circular to residents of coastal communities to help find 2 fishermen who remain unaccounted for following a recent boat disaster. It has now been more than a week since a tragic incident occurred at the Adan estuary where a boat carrying 19 fishermen capsized, resulting in the loss of 2 lives. In an interview with Citi News, Ebenezer Dando, the public relations officer of NADMO in the Adan East District, said the search operation is still ongoing.
The last person was found on Saturday. So now nothing new. We have not found anyone yet. So 2 missing.
Is the search over?
The search is really not over. But with the 2 people we found dead, we found them around the coast in the Volta region. So we've given information to the coastal villages to be on standby for us in case they found anybody dead or alive to inform us. So we are still waiting for information. Yet search is ongoing. Even currently as we speak, I speak with you, some boats were sent to Tema to be doing a search along the coast all the way to Tema to see if maybe they may have found any of them.
You heard the public relations officer of NADMO in the Adan East District, Ebenezer Dando. Let's still stay with NADMO because it says it will not force residents and farmers of the Nauni community to relocate to higher grounds ahead of the spillage of the Bagri Dam. The residents who are situated along the banks of the White Volta River have cited their dependence on the river as the primary reason for refusing to move. Speaking to Citi News, Jerry Asameni, the Upper East Regional Director of NADMO, says his outfit will keep sensitizing the farmers on the need to move to higher grounds for their safety.
In this democratic dispensation, who can you force to move? If the person's life is at stake, and then you reasonably appeal and apply some minimum force, and the person is resisting, the only thing is that you leave it as it is. But fortunately, the farmlands are those that are going to immediately be affected. And for the farmers, those farmers saying all these things, it is when it starts that they themselves will be compelled to move. We are only praying hard that the spillage, the water, the flow in of the water shouldn't spring surprises on them, especially those who attempt to cross the unapproved routes over the river to the other side of it. So again, we're trying to appeal to people to use the bridges. It's just still the appeal that people should move to the higher grounds. They already know those grounds that has been located since about 5-6 years ago. And again, we advise farmers not to get closer to the bank. And then any shallow water, they shouldn't attempt stepping in because these are the times we have been saying that the crocodiles are being disturbed from their natural habitats, or the reptiles, the snakes, and all that. So people should be careful.
Upper East Regional Director of NADMO, Jerry Asamani.
Let's now do some politics. The Member of Parliament for Domkwabenya, Sarah Drosafo, has been advised not to seek re-election if she wishes to see the New Patriotic Party retain the seat in the 2024 elections. The MP, during a tour of her constituency over the weekend, announced her intentions to contest again in 2024. Adrosafo last week publicly apologized to the President, the Vice President, and the leadership of the NPP for what she says were actions that affected the party. She was away for almost a year, leaving a vacuum in Parliament and the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection, where she served as minister. Speaking to Citi News about the latest development, a political science lecturer with the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Asante, says the party risks losing the seat if it puts the MP on the ballot.
Remember that constituents vote for people to represent them. And what do they represent? MPs represent the interests, the aspirations, the needs of their constituents. So if you leave them like that without responding to what I'm talking about, then you are taking them for granted. It doesn't matter the excuse, because in any case, you have not discussed any problem with them, and that they will see it as taking them for a ride. And constituents have their power is in their voting. Once they vote, or the time comes for them to renew your mandate, they can throw you out. So if you listen to concerns of the constituents and comments from them, realize that people are so angry, and they have every right to be angry, because I don't think the MP treated them with respect and with dignity. She got it wrong. Now, she said he wants to contest. Yes, he has the right to contest, but as to whether the people will give their mandate to her is another thing. From where I sit, I believe strongly that she will not survive the process. People will not give their mandate to her again, because they feel that he has shortchanged the party, he has disrespected the party, and he has not supported the party in any way. And then he had also left the constituency without talking to them, without attending to their needs, their aspirations.
That was political science lecturer with the University of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Asante.
Now, in response to the recent deadly explosion at a quarry site in the Shamar district of the Western Region, the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, has established a 3-member committee to review its monitoring and enforcement strategy. The explosion resulted in 4 deaths and numerous injuries. Dr. Henry Kokofu, the executive director of the EPA, says monitoring and enforcement measures will be strengthened in the wake of this incident.
We have a robust monitoring system, but like any other institutional operations, you may have people recalcitrant who do things at the blind side of you. Monitorings are done basically during the day and all that, hoping that factories and facilities like a quarry site will operate within the day. Internally, we put up a 3-man committee headed by a board member to look at how best we can put our acts together, enhanced monitoring, compliance, and enforcement regimes.
Executive Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Dr. Henry Kokofu.
Health officials have advised the general public to practice frequent hand washing to help combat the increase in cases of acute hemorrhagic conjunctivitis, commonly known as Apollo. Over 50% of reported eye cases at the police hospital's eye clinic have been linked to Apollo, and there are concerns about its rapid spread across all 16 regions of Ghana. Dr. Franklin Esiedu-Bequin, the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, emphasized the importance of hand hygiene in preventing further increases in Apollo cases.
I think for a long period of time, we've not been having it. What you need to do is, this one is one of the highly religious conditions, but it can easily be addressed within a matter of a day. So what happens is it's caused by a virus. And when it happens, you realize that you have this awareness of normally both of the you have aim and may have a discharge, that maybe like us. So that is what normally normally happens. As you touch the ice, because maybe it may be itching or painful, get the secretions on your or some may use your handkerchief or your glove, and if that gets into contact with another person, then that person also carries the ice, then you are likely to get this condition. So the main thing is about the prevention. How do we ensure that we don't get secretions into the ice? So it's about teaching the children how to avoid touching their hands, and also to promote hand washing. But if the hand washing is very regular, and you want to minimize as much as possible, if the child is infected, then we do not expect them to go to school.
You heard the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Asiedu-Bekoin.
Let's move to the Ashanti region now, where residents of Anyankwanta, located within the Bekwai municipality, are living in fear following the mysterious death of an 18-year-old Georgina Ajiman. Her lifeless body was discovered in an uncompleted building just few meters away from her residence. Eyewitnesses reported that Georgina's body was found partially unclothed and displayed visible injuries, raising suspicions of a potential rape and murder. The assembly member for the area, Frank Iwa, has acknowledged the growing concern within the community and outlined measures being implemented to enhance security in the area.
A mother and a baby was killed at that time. That one was also three months ago. It happened over there. So it has been occurring. Something that we have to find a solution to that. What has been occurring around this area.
So are you living in fear?
Yeah, totally. Because since yesterday, people have been started moving from this area to the main town. Since yesterday, I've seen some people moving from this place to Anyankwanta because of what has happened. They are in fear. They are afraid that it will happen again. So they are moving from this place to the main town from Anyankwanta. So people have started packing. Those who have rented a house or room over here, and they have started moving from this place to Anyankwanta.
So what do you want the security services to do?
For the security services, I've already told her, Ghana, no, we don't meet the world standard. We don't meet the world standard. So they alone cannot protect the citizens. We have to help them. As I was saying, we have to find a community volunteer which was to support the police than giving all our security to the police. They alone cannot do it unless we come together. So what the police are doing there, I think it's okay. But we, the citizens, we have to help them. We have to help them. So the volunteer will help us to protect us from the criminals.
That was the assembly member for Anyankwanta, Frank Iwa. Meanwhile, the family of the deceased is demanding justice.
The Ghana Armed Forces has issued an apology to all journalists who have suffered physical abuse at the hands of military personnel. The Chief of Defence Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama, expressed regret over such incidents and stated that such actions are unacceptable and will be addressed. This apology came during a meeting with the leadership of the Ghana Journalists Association.
We never want to encourage such incidents. We should live as brothers and sisters. For all other organizations and associations, we have the highest respect for them, because as journalists association, you have a lot of journalists in the military press corps who want to work together with you towards the development of Ghana.
That was the Chief of Defence Staff, Vice Admiral Seth Amwama.
You're still listening to Citi Prime News. My name is Zoe Abube Eduardo and I'm here with Charles Owusukumi. Still ahead in this bulletin, some users of Ghana's only commercial train want the railway network modernized and expanded to make commuting stress-free. Stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
It's time for the ultimate corporate sports gathering, the Citi Business Olympics 2023. Get ready to unleash your competitive spirit and showcase your athletic prowess as we bring together the best of the best from the corporate world. From traditional sports like seven-a-side football, basketball, sack race, and volleyball to unique challenges like tug of war and arm wrestling, there's no shortage of excitement and adrenaline pumping action. So gather your colleagues, lace up your sneakers, and get ready to compete in the Citi Business Olympics. It's time to show off your skills, build connections, and have a blast in the ultimate corporate sports extravaganza. To register your company to participate, call 0205 973 973 or 0558 973 973 now. Which company will emerge as champion and which CEO will win the Ultimate CEO's Challenge at the Citi Business Olympics 2023? We'll find out on 30th September 2023. Venue, Eden Heights Sports Complex. Wager, time 8 a.m. The Citi Business Olympics 2023 is powered by Citi TV with support from Citi FM and proudly sponsored by Lozati Lozenges from Unicom Chemist Limited, EK Brand Consult, Blue Jeans Energy Drink, and Hollard Insurance.
Are you faced with this challenge and will want to learn more about automobile maintenance to avoid such frustrating moments? Tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. on 97.3 Citi FM as we bring you the solutions to all your automobile problems on the Total Energies Auto Show, proudly sponsored by Total Energies Ghana.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You will come back to Citi Prime News. Now, the rail sector is a safe escape for passengers from the traffic situation in urban centers. In Ghana, people who live outside the city centre spend hours in traffic commuting to and from work. But the few who opt to use the train suffer discomfort on the only working commercial train in the country, which was imported in 1986 and plies the Tema-Accra route. Here's a report by Citi News' Umaru Sanda Amadou, which also has input from correspondents in the Ashanti and Western regions.
It's 25 minutes past 6 a.m. and this is Asoprochona around Sakumon on the way to Tema. This is the train station where people have come to board, and the train is arriving, the one from Tema, to pick passengers here, eager passengers who would be boarding to Accra. I'm going to, today, for the Citi Newsroom, be on board this train to see what it looks like. I've already got my ticket, which has been issued to me, 7 cities from Asoprochona to Accra, waiting for the train. But this particular one, while arriving, well, I'm on board now, sitting comfortably. Windows are labeled using a black marker, where seat numbers have been indicated, people sitting in their various seats. Let me speak to my co-passenger. Hello. Why are you on the train and not on a bus or driving to Accra?
Okay, so I packed today. I want to go to Mokola to get some few things.
I work around Shiashi, so I get down at Shangri-La. Then I bought a trotro to Shiashi.
So there's a stop at Shiashi. There's a shop at Shangri-La. So you get off there and then you move.
Yes.
We are on a train ride from Asoprochona to Accra, just experiencing it and trying to see what ought to be fixed and what ought to be maintained as we explore rail sector and rail transport here in the national capital, Accra, and for that matter, Ghana. I'm in the first class section of this train, it's Asoprochona to Accra train, and in front of me is the second class coaches. This particular car looks very neat. There are leather seats, and it's like one man, one seat, and they are facing frontwards, just like you would have on a bus. It looks very decent. And all these people here would have paid 7 cedis instead of 5 cedis, which is the regular ticket. This is a stop at the Accra Mall area, Shiashin, for those who come from Shiashin. So it's Shangri-La, where people get off and board. It is one of several stops that we have seen so far. There are students on board. I would just want to engage them and see how the journey has been for them so far. You do this every day?
Yes, every day.
How is the journey like?
Convenient. It's good. Compared to the car trotro. There's so much traffic.
You pay? I'm curious. Do students pay? No, are students, do they collect money from you?
Yes. Oh, okay. Just half of the fee. How people will pay one ticket.
I'm just at a junction between one car and another. It looks very violent here. What's happening under here? Well, as the train gathers speed, you see a lot of twists and turns, a lot of movement between one car, which is the car at the back, and the car before it. I may have to shout because it's really noisy here, isn't it? So we've just reached the Achimota station. The train has arrived, the train from Tema. Let me just confirm the time. It's 7:18. We left around 6:30. What's happening here is that this used to be the head of the train that brought us from Tema. This head is been replaced with this one remains here for a new head to be connected to the train that would take us to Accra. This changeover, we're told, takes some 10 to 15 minutes. So this, which used to be the front, now becomes the back. The driver on this side with the engine connects this to the train, and then we simply join and go to Accra. And it clicks. And with that, the connection is perfect, and we are bound for Accra. Now, see you in Accra. Well, this is a Tudu station. It's 7:45 by my count, and that's when we got here in Accra, having left Asoprochona at 6:30. We arrived at the Asoprochona station with the office car. The office driver is on the road, so we decided just to call him and see where he has reached. So, hello, Maxwell. So we just arrived at Tudu. Where are you?
I'm still currently at Manet. That's Estintes.
Maxwell, whom I left at 6:30 at Asoprochona, who took off immediately the train moved, is now at Manet Spintex. I am at Tudu. Of course, this is a no-brainer. It's a train that I came by. But the story in here is that if you live in Tema, you live in Pram Pram, you live in Kaswa, and you complain about traffic every day, like Maxwell is stuck in there. Imagine if there was a working, reliable train that you could hop onto and get you to wherever you want to within the shortest possible time. That is the story we are telling here on the Citi Newsroom, why the rail sector is critical for our transport development. On our continuous coverage of the rail sector, we've trailed the rail line that heads from Accra to Nsawam to just see the state of affairs. This is the line at the Ofankor-Jonte stretch. It looks abandoned because no train has used it for months, if not for years. That train that's supposed to move from Accra to Nsawam has stopped moving. That is the one that we actually boarded this morning from Tema to Accra. That is because the Amasaman line itself is not functioning. It's weedy, it looks abandoned. Aside that, it has also been blocked. It used to go under the main Ofankor Nsawam highway. But because of the construction work that is being done, the dualization of the Ofankor to Nsawam Road, there's some work that has to be done. So there's a bridge that used to be here. That bridge is now being created. So you notice that the rail line has been blocked at this particular point where they've poured stones and chippings and sand on it for work to continue, which means there'll be access after the construction is done. This is Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. This is in Sawam. This rail station would have been very busy carrying passengers or where trains are bringing passengers or coming to pick passengers to the national capital, Accra. But it is a silent place now because there's not a single coach here. Behind me is a station. The people who run the trains here would have been busy working, but looking at them in the background, they are idling about. This is in Sawam Railway Crossing. That's the name of this particular spot. If you were on a train from Accra, this would be the line. It crosses here. Doesn't look like a rail line, but yes, it crosses here and continues to Kumasi. But there is a shop or a store or a tabletop where someone is selling. And this line, 10 minutes here. You follow it and there's nothing. Beyond here is just a pure metal, scrap metal that has been removed and abandoned. That is the sad situation of Ghana's rail sector. Otherwise, you could hop on a train and arrive in Ghana's second biggest city, Kumasi. But everything ends here in a messy situation. Also, we've just been highlighting for you the story of the rail sector in the national capital, Accra, through to Nsawam in the eastern region. But this is not the only place where we have rail infrastructure. Let's take a tour around the country and see what the situation elsewhere is. Let's start with the western region. Akwesi Ejenim has a wrap of the rail sector and the challenges associated with the collapse of same.
Once bustling with activity, the Western Railway line now bears the weight of non-functionality.
So this is the Takoradi station of the Ghana Railways Company, and over here I'm told is the final point of the rail coming all the way from Kumasi through Dunkwao and even Obuasi through Takwa to the Takoradi port. And I'm told that over here nothing goes beyond this section of the station. But we want to find out what has been the relevance of this very station in the operations of the railway sector.
That's where we have all our controllers, the chief controllers. They control the operations of the train line from here to Kumasi, wherever, including the central line. They do the communication. So at the final analysis, this is where everything ends up with the communication. So if you want to know the movement of the train or know a position of a particular train, unless you come here before you'll be able to know where the train is at a particular time within the whole network, the railway network. And then also, this is where the passenger ends. It serves both the harbour and then the township.
What is the status of it? Is it serving anything? Are we running any passenger service right now?
Yeah, when they finished, we were running passenger service until the certain demands came where we could not meet, so we have to halt the operations.
So a closer look of the Takoradi station, you can see that the shed is basically worn out. I mean, this is a shed that was raised just before 2016, when this very place was actually given a facelift, and because of the non-usage of the station, I mean, we have some of the shed right here, portions left behind, but most of them have actually gone off. And why are they not being fixed? Because the station is not operational, where we have the bolts and nuts very much decaying, and it tells you that the non-usage of the railway station over here, that's the Takoradi main station, is making everything look very bad over here because money is not coming in, and for that matter, no maintenance can actually be carried out.
Originally designed for haulage services, in July 2023, the railway could only manage to transport approximately 26,000 tons of manganese due to the deteriorated rail lines. The remaining 90% of manganese and 100% of bauxite are now transported via road haulage. This shift has resulted in the degradation of the Takwa to Takoradi road, a situation that residents and motorists alike have decried. Effort to revive passenger service from Takoradi to Takwa in 2019 faced setbacks due to derailment and poor state of the rail line.
The railways has more than 200 kilometers of standard gauge to be done before it can begin hauling the desired bauxite from Awaso to the Takrade port to shore up its revenues. For City News, I'm Akwesi Ejenim, Ishiem in the Western region.
So this rail line I'm standing on is at Nsawam. It's called the Central Spine. If you look at Ghana's rail infrastructure, we have the Eastern Corridor, the Western, and the Central Spine. So what is the state of affairs in Ghana's second biggest city, Kumasi?
These rail lines were once the lifeline connecting the Ashanti region to the Western and Greater Accra regions. They facilitated the movement of not only passengers, but also essential goods and mineral resources to various parts of the country. The once bustling Edum rail station now stands as a testament to decay, with deteriorating structures, idle lines, and redundant workers for over a decade. Since the rail network ceased operation, opportunistic individuals have been dismantling the rail lines for scrap metal. 2 years ago, a deputy railways minister lamented the persistent theft of these rail lines. Despite some arrests and subsequent prosecutions, the theft of these lines continues unabated. Stolen rail lines remain in the custody of security agencies and some found at the abandoned Edum rail stations. Rail theft is just one of the challenges plaguing the sector. Encroachment onto rail lines is another significant issue. Slum dwellers have occupied these areas for years, contributing to a high crime rate in these locations. In 2020, President Akufo-Addo initiated the construction of an 83.5-kilometer standard gauge railway line from Kumasi to Obuasi, part of the Western Line project. A 6-kilometer section between Kasi and Edum was initially expected to be completed in 12 months, but delays due to soil exchange and rainy weather have pushed the deadline. In a recent interview, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Railway Development Authority, Yao Owusu, cited financial constraints as the reason for the government's inability to meet the deadline. In Kumasi, residents expressed their dissatisfaction with the collapsed rail sector in the Ashanti region and call upon the government to prioritize its revival.
Yeah, when it used to work, I used to board the train. And I think if it's back, it will help a lot. You know, it can carry more staffs to here, and this place is closer to the market.
People have to trek from here to Takwa on 207s, minibuses. Lot of accidents could have been avoided if the railway system is active.
This road leads to the construction site where the Kasi railway line is being constructed. According to contractors, they are currently at the stage where soil exchange is being done to get the right soil for the project. Residents in the Ashanti region are anticipating the revival of the rail industry within the region, but encroachment remains a major hinder to government's efforts to revamp the sector. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Kasi, Ashanti region.
So that was a report by Citi News' Umaru Sandamadu with support from the Ashanti regional correspondent Hafiz Tijani and the Western regional correspondent Akwesi Ejenim. Let's now move to the Savannah region. We brought you an earlier story where the Member of Parliament for Bole Bamboy, Yusuf Sulemana, is appealing to the Minister of Roads and Highways to swiftly work on the reconstruction of the Bole solar section of the road following the collapse of a bridge between Bole and Dole. What's the current situation in the area? Good afternoon, Richard Fogo. He's a Savannah regional correspondent. He's joining us to give us an update. We had earlier mentioned to listeners that several travelers were stranded. What's the current situation?
The situation is getting worse by the day as many passengers continue to attempt crossing from this side of the road. As you mentioned, this is the only road linking the Upper West region to the rest of the country and of course parts of the Savannah region. As I speak to you now, people are trying to cross using boats just a few minutes ago, one of the boats capsized, and other swimmers had to dive into the water to save them, including their goods. There are 2 canoes operating under the water as I speak, and with only 3 life jackets. So NADMO said they are making arrangements to bring enough life jackets to the area. What is happening is that those from the Bole side who want to cross to the Upper West or Solar side of the road, there are vehicles cutting them from Bole to where the bridge has been washed off. They get down from there and then cross the bridge, and then the other vehicles that will carry them along the rest of the journey. The difficulty is that if you want to go to Upper West from Bole now using a vehicle, you have to go back all the way to Bamboy or Tichima, pass through Kintampo, then to the Fusu Solar Road, where you will now link to Upper West again, and that will add additional 200 to 300 kilometers of road to your journey. So it's very frustrating. We have not been able to cross to the Bole side, but we understand several articulated trucks carting goods from the south of the country to the Upper West and beyond are parked frustrated and stranded in the Bole township. Some of those goods, we understand, are perishable goods, and the owners are having to find a way of salvaging them. So the situation is very bad. Just a moment ago, the Upper West Regional Minister was here together with the Savannah Regional Minister to assess the situation. Now, according to the ministers, the Highways Authority is saying unless the water recedes, they will not be able to do much. So they are waiting for the water to recede for them to see if they can create a diversion for people to be able to cross whilst they work on rebuilding the bridge that has been collapsed.
If I get you right, so you are trying to say there's no alternative route apart from that particular bridge?
There's no alternative route. There's no alternative. The alternative route from this bridge is about 200 kilometers away. That is to Bamboy. Then Bamboy, you pass through a New Longoro. We understand that road is also very bad. So if you want to have a motorable road, you have to go all the way to Tichima and then now pass through Kintampo to Fufulsu, then back to Damango to Sola, and then you can go. You can imagine it's over close to 400 kilometers additional. So people who find that very expensive, you need about 300 Ghana cedis extra to make that journey. People are finding it difficult to, make that journey, are forcing their way to cross using the boats. And that is what is happening here at the moment.
Okay, so finally, looking at the extent of damage of the bridge, is this something that can be fixed immediately, or it's something that is going to drag for a while?
Not at all. It cannot be fixed immediately. The bridge is completely gone, and the water is a lot. And when you look at it, even as I speak, it is possible that in 24 hours' time, a lot more of the road will still be washed away by the water.
Is it still raining?
It's not raining, but the water continues to come, and we are still in the rainy season. If you come up north between now and October, it's where we have the torrential rain. So more rains are expected over here. So the bridge is not something that can be given any temporary touch. It has to be reconstructed and made bigger than it was. So we are talking months. I don't think the bridge can be fixed in the coming weeks.
All right. Thank you so much. That was Richard Fogo, who is a Savannah regional correspondent. There will be more on Eyewitness News with Umar Sanda Amadou at 5:30 p.m. This is still Citi Prime News. My name is Zoe Abube-Eduardo, and I'm here with
Charles Owusukumi.
Still to come, we'll catch up with the winner of Season 5 of Citi TV's Voice Factory, Cielo B. We'll bring you highlights of the grand finale of the show, which happened over the weekend. Please stay tuned.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Happy birthday to you.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
Throughout all life-changing moments such as graduations, weddings, funerals, birthdays, ATL is there to ensure you're never out of style. When you think fabric, think ATL. Log on to atlfabrics.com. Order and buy your favorite ATL fabric. You can also visit our shop at number 40 Kwame Nkrumah Avenue, opposite the Swansea Shopping Arcade at Accra Central. Also available in leading fabric dealer shops in Accra, Kumasi, and Cape Coast. ATL, bringing fabric to life.
Calling all Swesco old students. Join us for a night of nostalgia and celebration at the Swesco All-Year Group's Alumni Dinner Dance and launch of our 65th anniversary. It's time to dust off your dancing shoes and relive the Swesco experience. Whether you graduated last year or decades ago, this event is the perfect opportunity to reconnect with old friends, reminisce about your time at Swedro Secondary School, Swesco, and create new memories. The evening will be filled with good music, great interactions, and lots of fun. Get ready to hit the dance floor as our band plays all the classic hits that will transport you back to your school days. From the timeless tunes of the 60s to the chart toppers of the 90s, there will be something for everyone to groove to. Indulge in a delicious three-course meal prepared by our talented chefs who will ensure that your taste buds are treated to culinary delights. From appetizers to main courses and delectable desserts, you'll be in for a gastronomic experience that will leave you wanting more. It's on Saturday, 23rd of September 2023 at 6 p.m. prompt. It's going to be at the Adaikese Hall, La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, and it's 550 Ghana cedis per head. There will be the launch of our 65th anniversary activities and logo. Tickets are available now, and seating will be done according to year groups. For more information and ticket purchases, please call 0241 951405 or 0244 387308 or your year group president. Semper Cum Optimus, always with the best.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back to Citi Prime News. Now to a story on the limited voters registration exercise, and the Minority Chief Whip Governs Kwame Agboja is accusing the Electoral Commission of deliberately creating challenges with the process at its district offices to pave way for the introduction of a constitutional instrument, CI, in Parliament to enable the use of the Ghana card in the 2024 general elections. The Electoral Commission has faced widespread criticism from political parties, civil society organizations, and the general public for its insistence on conducting the limited voters registration exclusively in district offices. Speaking to Citi News, Mr. Agboja indicated that the EC's decision aligns with its agenda to establish the Ghana card as the sole requirement for participating in the general elections.
We cannot wish the democracy we have works for all of us. But everybody in this country knows the reason the EC is doing this is to create a situation where it is difficult for ordinary people to register, so they can come back and say that they are using Ghana card as the only source document. They don't want people to register with without any other means. It is quite clear. The Electoral Commissioner, which is supposed to be a fair player, is in too much cahoot with the New Patriotic Party. You will notice that the New Patriotic Party is not even bothered about this exercise that much, simply because they know they have a plan. They just want to do something to represent something that we have carried out registration. Don't be surprised that they will come back to Parliament pretending that they are bringing a CI to make Ghana card the only source document. When they know even the Ghana card, if you go to the NIA offices, some of their staff are still trying to charge individuals money.
So that was the Minority Chief Whip Governs Kwame Agboja. Meanwhile, some registrants in the Lejukuku constituency are calling on the Electoral Commission to decentralize the registration centres due to the congestion currently experienced at the district office of the Electoral Commission.
Now, two suspects arrested in connection with the alleged murder of 35-year-old businesswoman Princess Efia Ahinkan in Sokoban within the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly of the Ashanti region are set to appear before the Asokore-Mampon District Court today. The victim was reportedly murdered by her 22-year-old security guard on Monday, September 11, 2023, at her residence. The two individuals on trial are Alistair John, the said security guard, and James Anochi, who is believed to be an accomplice to Alistair John.
You're still listening to Citi Prime News, coming to you live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. Stories we've been bringing you so far. Bole Bamboy, Member of Parliament, appeals to Ministry of Roads and Highways to swiftly reconstruct the Bole Solar section of the road as several travelers remain stranded. We brought you an update where our regional correspondent Richard Fogo says several travelers remain stranded and the situation is getting worse. He also indicated that a boat that was carrying some persons capsized, but it took the intervention of some people to swim to rescue them. We also brought you a story where the Sanitation and Water Resources Ministry has paid 10 months allowances owed trainees of the School of Hygiene. Still, we also brought you a story where some users of Ghana's only commercial train want the rail network modernized and expanded to make commuting stress-free. We still have some more stories from you. We'll bring you highlights of season 5 of The Voice Factory.
If maybe I'm singing dance, I watch videos of her performing dance, like different videos, and I also search for other people's performances of the same song, how people did it, and then I always have personal all-night rehearsals during the week. Let's go.
So that was the winner of season 5 of Citi TV's Voice Factory, CLOB. And indeed, it was a great night on Saturday. Charles, did you watch the show?
Yeah, I watched it from the very beginning right to the end. So Team CLOB, in fact, I am the chief supporter in the Team CLOB.
Hey, is that something we should know?
Well, I mean...
Why were you supporting her?
I think she's a star.
Mm-hmm.
I think she has that aura about her. And from the very moment that she came into the competition, I knew that, I mean,
she was going to win.
Not necessarily going to win, but I knew that she had a fair chance of winning. And if she had not won, I'm sure that would be rioting by now.
Hey, okay, who else apart from CLOB?
I think Bella and
Bella did great.
Bella and Reguelo, if any of them had won, I mean, it wouldn't be a surprise. But Team CLOB, we're grateful that they voted for her, and we're grateful to the judges also for supporting her.
All right, so we'll be hearing from CLOB shortly, but before then, COP George Alex Mensah has retired from the Ghana Police Service. He attained the mandatory retirement age of 60 yesterday. He served in several positions in the police service before proceeding on leave pending retirement. His name popped up in his last days to retirement as he was involved in a leaked audio tape in an alleged plot to oust the current Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Kufu Dampare. The case is currently before a parliamentary ad hoc committee. Meanwhile, COP George Alex Mensah has declared his intention to contest for the Bekwai seat in Parliament in the upcoming general elections. Now back to the Voice Factory Season 5, where the CLOB was adjudged winner of that event that came off on Saturday. Let's bring you some highlights of the grand finale of the show.
After 12 weeks of intense competition, the 11 contestants of Citi TV's Voice Factory Season 5 brought their A game to the stage as each sang his or her heart out in an attempt to win the hearts of viewers and judges. Jerry L., Manuel, Bella, Titi, Ernest, Cleos, Sairam, Princess, CLOB, Reguelo, and AJ Wilson. After the first round, the contest was down to the wire.
Treat you right. I wanna love you every day and every night. We'll be together in the roof of our heads, share the shelter.
They put the energy in a song though. Are y'all listen, folks? Listen. Tell me where we gonna run go. After making up our motherland a better place to live. Tell me where we gonna run go. Oh, when them say we have to pay for the oxygen we breathe. Answer me now, Mr. Big Man. You know, they say everybody want to they run go up for being.
Shot a lion's spot for Daniel. If it parted the sea for Moses. Listen up. What more will he do for them that believe and know?
Each contestant came in as a raw talent, but ended up transformed into polished gems through the crucible of the Voice Factory, making them all winners. However, the ultimate winner who jets off to Dubai and grabs the cash prize is Cielo B. She had this to say after winning.
Continue working on music because there's a place for me and I'm encouraged to push better and not give up.
The Voice Factory was sponsored by Ebony Condoms, refreshed by Eddie's Pizza, with Nalo Solutions as the official voting partner, refreshed by McBerry Twist Cupcake, and sponsored by Copan Hospitality.
So those were highlights of the Voice Factory Season 5, which came off on Saturday. That was a report by Citi News' Caleb Kuda. We caught up with the winner of the 5th edition, Cielo B, and she said that all-night-long rehearsals coupled with innovative ways of owning songs she performed helped her win the hearts of judges. She spoke on the Citi Breakfast Show with Bernard Dable.
If maybe I'm singing dance, I watch videos of her performing dance, like different videos, and I also search for other people's performances of the same song, how people did it, and then I always have personal all-night rehearsals during the week.
Personal all-night rehearsals during the week?
Yes.
God.
If I can't do the all-night, then I have to wake up early and work on it.
And you get into the groove.
Yeah.
Do you try to change the style to fit? You know, some people they want to do the song the way the singer did it.
Yeah.
But because I think when you guys did the reggae, I think some of you tried to own it.
Yeah.
How do you go about that?
Yeah, so that's how come I tend to watch like the other renditions.
Mm-hmm.
So like maybe if the person sang in Kingston Town, someone else sang in Kingston Town, then I was in Kingston Town.
So like you put a Cielo B signature on it.
Yeah.
So that was the winner of the 5th edition of Citi TV's Voice Factory, Cielo B. Congrats to her and all the other contestants.
Congratulations to you, Cielo B. Now, data from the Ghana Statistical Service reveals that women in Ghana earn 34.2% less than their male counterparts, despite having equal levels of academic qualifications. The gender pay gap is even wider in the private informal sector, where women earn 58.7% less than men. This disparity is attributed to various factors, including the nature of the job, the position within the job, and biological factors such as childbirth. A labor statistician at the Ghana Statistical Service, Anthony Odro Denchira, has suggested that women take on more managerial roles to help reduce this wage gap.
Women should be encouraged to take up managerial positions. There should not be discrimination.
like they really said, once you have the same qualification, women should be encouraged to, take up some of these jobs. Women should also be given equal opportunity in terms of leave, annual paid leave, because we saw that if you go further, you see that for the age category, the working age category, 36 to 60 years.
Anthony Odro-Dentra is a labor statistician with the Ghana Statistical Service.
And that'll be all for Citi Prime News, which came to you live from our studio at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Zoe Abubedo-Ado, and I was here with
Charles Owusukumi.
Many thanks for your time.
Citi 97.3. More variety.